Yeah. Guys, I want to share the story of this young lady with you all. She said, America lied to me. And by the way, if you're joining me for the very first time, this platform is Saving Africa Uncensored. And I want to share this with you all because I know there's few people that are going through situations like these, not only in America, but across the world. The only difference is, like in America compared to like in Africa, you could tell this girl has a support system. Her parents are still there, but she's disappointed. So I'm gonna let us listen to her story, and then we'll take it from there. So go ahead and share. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, follow. If you're on Facebook or on YouTube, regardless. For more contents like these, my name is Ibrahim, and I'm this is the Ibrahim Talk Show, Saving Africa Uncensored. Let's listen to this young lady's story. Hold on a second, guys. I know the video is not giving out the sound it should give. All right, let me take it from the top again so you guys can listen to a story.
Of it. But I have been thinking to myself, like, I've done everything that America told me to do. Like, in high school, I went to a nice high school. I did AP classes. I passed those exams. I got into college. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in finance. I freaking love it. But, and I even did like, I was a director of marketing for like SFA, which is like Student Finance Association. And I just did like a lot of things that I thought was required of me to leave college and get a good job and do better for myself. Sorry. But it's like I'm 27. I graduated in 2020. So it's been 4 years since I've graduated. And I have not been able to land a job. And it's really bothering me. At first, I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'm just going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to sew clothes. But it's like, I like that as my hobby. And the reason why I'm crying is because I have been applying to jobs and I'm just not getting them. And I'm not sure why. I even had an interview where the interview was an hour long. We were kikiing, having the time of our lives. And 3 hours later, I get an email that says that I didn't get the job. And I know that it's because the color of my skin, like, and I know that because of the dynamic of the office that I walked into. There was only one black person, he was a black male, and he was in the corner of like, he was like by himself, and everyone else was like intermingling. So I kind of knew.
I know he's about to, go into a segment where he's talking about the fact that if she feels like it's probably she didn't get that job because of the color of her skin, but that's not what I want to focus on. What I want to talk on is the fact that yes, there are lots of college degrees where folks are having a hard time coming out and getting jobs. Unfortunately, finance shouldn't be that hard and difficult. I don't know why it's so tough for her to have a job. It's been 4 years since she graduated. I don't know when she was going to college if she had internships, opportunities like those. But it's sad, and I know a lot of people are going through situations like these, and I just wish them the best. But I'm sure she has tried everything. My only advice to you, because you're very young, is maybe take a job where you don't even get paid. Volunteer somewhere, because I do have a friend of mine who is in the United Kingdom, and this was something he shared about his experience when he moved to the UK. His first job, serious accounting job, because he's an accountant, ACCA certified and everything, right? His first job, brother Catchbox, was volunteered. His time for an organization. So say, hey, I want to work without pay. Sometimes if that's what you have to do, since you have the cushion, you have the support system, go ahead and do that. So that would be the only thing I would advise if you're in a situation like hers and you're watching this video, you're young, you just finished college 3, 4 years ago, 5 years, you have not been able to land a job. Um, I definitely understand your situation, but I'm telling you guys, you got to keep pushing. You got to push. I mean, even at myself, I wouldn't say I'm up there, but it's amazing how you still have to be able to wiggle your way through. And one way that a lot of young people have been able to path their future in this country is through the military. As an example, you're not the military is not only giving you, you're giving back to your country you're serving, and it's like the gateway. For a lot of opportunities down your, down life. As terrible as things could go, but in the military, you would be able to map a path, for your future. Not even with a degree, you can a young 18, 19, 20-year old probably who did not even go to college. Some of our high school mates who did not go to college, they probably joined the military or they went and learned a skill job. I'm not saying, because everybody has to do what they want to do, right? If she wants to go to college and get a bachelor's, that's fine. That's what she wants to do. Some of the people are not built for college. They're built for skilled labor, right? So they say, I want to become an electrician. I want to become a mason, a plumber, So those folks that they all finished high school, some of them, I guarantee you currently, some of them are making like $3, $4,000 a week being an electrician or a plumber or mason or a carpenter, along that line, right? And then you have the ones that have joined the military. Let's say if she joined the military at age 18, that would have been almost 9 years. She would have been probably at least a staff sergeant if it's in the Air Force, or a technical sergeant. Because 18 years old up until 27 now, that's 9. I'm only saying this not to, because I don't know what her life choices are, what she wants to do, but I know she needs a job. But this is for anybody else out there. You're young. The job market is brutal now. It's very brutal, because folks are going back to looking for experience. Nobody wants to train anybody anymore. And that's the problem. So it's hard for folks that are coming out of college with no experience. And the worst is when you go and you get a master's, you get a PhD, and then the people that are supposed to give you these jobs don't have masters and PhDs, but they have tons of experience. So first of all, they get jealous because yeah, you are with all this education, right? But you have no experience. So those are some of the things you have to take into consideration. But for folks that if she was in the military at age 18, and I'm not advertising for the military by no way. I'm just, life choices, right? I'm just giving you my experiences and how, things work in this country. Because for a lot of people, without the military, there would have been nothing, or I wouldn't say they would have been nothing, but life would have been a little bit more challenging until they would have been able to figure their way out in life. So the military is an avenue. I don't want you to find yourself in a situation like her, because you can then join the military. Whilst you're in the military, you can go to school. The military pays for your education. You have no student debt. Now she's dealing with student debt. So those are all the things to take into consideration. So for my brothers and sisters, I don't care if you're in Africa, you're from Africa, you're an African American, you're white, you're black, whatever you are. I'm giving you just as an advice. Look at stories like hers. It's sad, it's pathetic, but I'm giving you this blueprint that you should use moving forward. You're coming out of high school. If college, if you're not going in for like a skilled set, like an engineer, some of the STEM, the sciences, right? Engineering, mathematics. If you're not going for those, it's going to be very hard for certain, degrees that you're going to have when you come out into the job market. Except if you have the family members that are lined up and ready to give you the opportunity, to make it happen for you. But it's going to be very hard if you're not into the STEMs, right? Because, the mathematicians, statisticians, those professions, scientists, engineers, it's a hot demand, right? So you have to know what you're going in for, especially in times like these. But I'll tell you again, if you take the military option, if she would join the military at age 18, she would have been 9 years, 9 years deep. She's probably a supervisor by now, have troops that she's actually taking care of. So she would have gone a long further into her life and her career, and she would be living a very fulfilled life. She would have traveled the world, God knows where. So I just want to use this video as an opportunity to teach you guys a few things, and so you can know how to map your future, because the world out there is a dog world. It's tough, it's very challenging, especially in these times that we're in now. it's even worse, right? Because you all know that the Trump administration has frozen, hiring, especially within the government sector, and that affects like all the way down, contracting and stuff like that. So those are all things to consider. Right now, the market is crazy, and plus people are losing their jobs left, right, and center. I heard like over 300,000 Black women have lost their jobs since January or so, because most of those positions were sort of like DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion. So they kind of got rid of all of those positions. So all of those women are home and don't have a job. So it's a serious problem. Okay. But I wanted to share this story with you all so you can learn from this and don't be a victim for this. I know people talk about, hey, you're military, I don't want to go to war. I know people that have been in the military 20, 25 years, never been to war, but the military is a way to give back to your country, and it gives back to you, and you'll be very grateful and happy that you did. So that's one way, right? But otherwise, she has to probably go and volunteer for nothing at some job. That is, if even if they will let her, right? No pay, I just want to come and learn and get the experience that I need, because that's all it takes. Once she gets her foot in the door, that'll be the end of that. All right. But if you're in a situation where you're finishing high school, you're thinking about it, you don't know, listen to this. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Just jump straight into the military, and you will map your future as you want as you go. All right. So kudos to you. Good luck to you all. Let's finish watching the rest of her video so you can learn from this.
New, but I did not let that stop me because I'm used to being in white spaces or Hispanic spaces where it's just them and not necessarily other cultures or ethnicities. And I I just feel kind of I just feel really down. Like I feel really down because I want more for myself. Like I haven't had a car yet, and it's not just about me buying like material things. It's like I need money for my business to propel to where I want it to. And it's just like I have all these talents. I dance, I know how to sew, I can make clothes from scratch. Like I know how to style. Outside of that, I'm great at finance. I love bookkeeping. I love general ledgers. And it's like I'm not getting opportunities in any of these categories. Like, yes, people buy like items from me and stuff from me, but it's not enough for me to move out of the neighborhood that I live in. And I know it's going to be hard for me to get out of here because it's a generational thing. People around here smoke their sorrows away, and like I quit doing that because I want way better for myself. And like just walking around and seeing how dirty the neighborhood is, like I don't, and it's killing me because I'm doing all I can. Like I sew 24/7. Like I was putting my all into these outfits, and I just lost that zest. And it could be my Saturn return, and that I just need to change directions. And I know that God is aligning me, but it hurts that I can't indulge in things that I want to indulge in, but there's bad around me. Like that indulgence is here, but it's like the good things I don't have around me. Like, and I also don't have connections with people who know people that can help me get opportunities because that's what life is about. And it's just, it's, it's killing me slowly. Like it really is. And I don't mean to come on here and cry and stuff because, like, boo hoo, boo hoo you. There's people dying in other countries, and even that just stresses me out. And I just feel so overwhelmed. Like, I feel so overwhelmed that I want to do great for myself and I have great attributes. But because the color of my skin or the way my hair is, or, like, even the way I speak, like, I'm pretty good at Spanish, I'm pretty good at Korean,